Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of the Just Us Review, where we really take our favorite shows, whether they're in the realm of supernatural, superhero, super anything, break it down and give you guys that nit and that grit. And if you like it, if we like it, we love it. If we hate it, God damn it, you're going to hear about it. And today, we have a special one for you guys. The Fabulous Misadventures of Sabrina, I don't give a damn what it's called, came out and we had to suffer and trudge our way through it. I guess you know where this review is going. So, we're going to talk about the goods, no he ain't, the bads, and how this pretty much effed us over. So, let's get into this. You know what? Let's go around the room and get everybody's hot take about this hot shit. Talise, how'd you feel about this?
I feel like they were rushing to finish it. But I liked certain aspects of it, meaning certain characters, meaning Ambrose and Ambrose only.
Oh my god.
And basically, I wasn't very impressed.
Sid, what about you?
This was a race to the finish line, and they trip and stumbled over every person running out there on the field. It was a mess. They rushed. They weren't trying to finish the story. They were just trying to finish the show.
And just to echo that, we're going to say this. They found out that on set that the show was being canceled, and they all gave up as one. They collected their check and went to Taco Bell afterwards, and it was clearly visible that today Christian and John are going to act as the viewers because they were spared the dying of watching this. So let's go.
I refuse to. I don't like Archie comics except for joking to put.
Riverdale is actually not that bad, but let's go across the top. I'm gonna give the show its due. Let's talk about the good aspects of this show. And while they do that, I'm gonna go ahead and take a nap. Talise, go ahead.
The good aspects of it is that for me, and I think this has been since like season 1, Ambrose has been the voice of reason and the main problem solver. The main problem solver, because he's always like, okay, so what can we do that will have the minimum, basically fatal effects on the coven? And he just keeps getting ignored and ignored and ignored. But yeah, Ambrose and probably as well Prudence actually kept it together for me this season.
So
that's a very hot take for somebody who's wrong. We want to let her keep going.
I'm going to talk about Ambrose too when we get to the bads.
So, I get to go first. We're going to tag team shit out of this.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what else was good about the show?
I liked the fact that in the very last episode, they brought in the cast from the
original sitcom?
Yeah, the original sitcom of Sabrina, and I thought that was, like a fun play on it.
I'm sorry.
Because when the show first came out, I was like, oh, Salem's going to talk, and then he just never spoke, and so it was good to see Salem the cat.
I'm glad you brought up Salem.
I'm going to talk about Salem too when we get to the bads.
Oh my gosh. Am I the only one saying good?
Okay, no, I got some
So,
goods. I got some goods for it too. I do.
Go for it.
The good part is over.
At the end.
And the great part is
it's not coming back.
It's not coming back, and she dead. When she died, I literally got an erection. Let me explain.
Please cut that out. Please cut that out.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I heard it. All the way across Atlanta. I heard it. I was like, what was that?
I think Ken is getting horny.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely a plus. She dead. Not only did she died twice. So I'm really enjoying that.
Oh, Sabrina died at the end?
Yeah, she did.
She did.
So
she died
no more.
Dead as hell.
No more.
Oh, goody.
No. See, when you don't, I'm gonna get to it later.
I'm searching deep down for it.
You gotta dig in your ass for this.
Because I want to say it was a good when the new Weird Sisters were all black women, were all witches. And then they snatched that from us one episode later.
Were they
and I was
villains?
like,
Well,
no, they were heroes.
the thing that was good about...
they were the Weird Sisters of the brother. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, that's what I said. They snatched all of that from us.
That's where I was going with that. Because I think the previous season when they introduced Mambo Marie, I was like, okay, so we're going to get a little, Haitian Creole about it, some voodoo. I like that. And then when they mentioned the dead, I was like, oh, the Baron's gonna come because, you know, it's a Haitian woman dealing with the undead.
Yeah.
So that's when I figured it. And so when she was shaking the bones in the graveyard, that's who I thought was coming out. And I was like, oh, they're just bringing out this white man from the Bible. That was set in Africa.
You called that too. Cool.
Yeah, the dirty old white man.
I literally cannot find a good about it.
And you know what? That is a great place to start. Let's get into these bads. You said Ambrose, right?
Ooh.
When you say magical black Negro...
Don't smoke him too much.
Okay. When you say the word, one of the most offensive things you can do to a black character is that make him a magical black Negro.
Literal. And Ambrose is black?
Yes, he's black.
I never knew. I thought y'all was talking about a white man the entire time.
Ambrose is black.
I don't watch this show.
Oh, that's cool. Let me explain to you why this is so bad.
One, he's the only black man on the show.
Yes.
So that's one thing. But keep on.
He's the literal magical black.
Wait, he's the only black man on the show?
Yes.
Who's he gonna play Faith with?
The literal only black magical Negro. And the part that pisses me, literally, Ambrose saves every episode. Sabrina walks in and says, Ambrose, I fucked up. And Ambrose literally hits the books, comes up with a solution, and then openly hands it to Sabrina so that she can save the day. He does all the research, he does the planning, he does the plotting, and then literally in the 12th hour, here you go, Sabrina. Now go save the world with all the work that I've done. And then when you find out that Ambrose is a 138-year-old man. 134-year man, cow-topping to a 16-year-old.
Okay, that's the only slight good I'll give it, because when they found out what Sabrina was doing, and then she's like, I'll come clean and all that stuff. So the auntie was like, so you knew about this, right? And he was like, yeah, but she made me, swear not to tell.
No, Sabrina says, I made him do it. She's like...
So she was like, bitch, shut up. All right, she said, grown-ass man. A 16-year-old girl told a 134-year-old man what to do.
And he gave the dumbest look on his face like...
There was no response.
Here's the part that kills me. At the end of the series of last season, Ambrose comes out and is like, you do not know what you unleashed. You just brought terror to the world. What you just did may end the world.
Reality.
Reality as we know it. And instead of immediately going to the aunties to let them know what's going on, he's like, nah, I'm going to let Sabrina be Sabrina.
This sounds like Jessica Jones all over.
His literal and my thing is, it's not, Ambrose doesn't have a personal life. He doesn't have his own deal. It's not like he's out living his own life and Sabrina comes and interrupts it. No, he literally exists in a room. And so Sabrina comes up and says, hey,
I fucked up.
I fucked up. And he's like, okay, let me spring into action to cover your ass.
Combating that, because at the very beginning of the series, we understand that he's under house arrest because he tried to...
No, he got off house arrest.
I know.
Okay.
Can I...
Sorry.
He was under house arrest because he tried to blow up the Vatican, so he didn't have much of a personal life, and then they gave him one, and then killed that dude, and then gave him Prudence, and so him and Prudence were, still on their mission, but they were together, and they were doing their own thing, but then they took Prudence away from him again, and so it very much seemed like he was Sabrina's lackey.
Mm-hmm. It seemed that way because that's what they made it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And they don't, and this is a bad for Sabrina as a whole, the writing. They don't give any character closure in any of their arcs. They never actually, like one episode, like you said, Prudence and Ambrose will be together. Mm-hmm. They'll be together for like 3 or 4 episodes straight. Then as you know, it's just like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey.
Oh, now she's with Nick.
They were together for the entirety of last season, except for the last episode.
Well, and we get that, but what he's saying, like, for example, Prudence was with Nick.
Literally whiplash.
Like, Prudence was with Nick, and then out of nowhere, Nick and Harvey are like, I'm interested in Sabrina now. And I was like, where the fuck did this come from?
Yeah.
But hold up, we'll get there in a second. So
we done with Ambrose?
Well, 1 second. So Ambrose lives in a pocket dimension in order to save Sabrina. I think the piece of resistance to this was the episode where the perverse came. And then Oh
yeah.
And then Ambrose lost his memory, and Sabrina's like, "We're royally fucked." And then he was like, "Oh, I gotta take you out of Greendale." He got his memory back out of Greendale, had to solve the problem while he was out of Greendale, and come back to lose his memory again. They literally couldn't do shit without Ambrose, but he didn't have his own agency in the show.
There's another character they couldn't really do shit about with. They introduced the Trinket Man.
Okay.
Why? He was. I'll put him in the same category as Ambrose because he had the answer to everything. Mm-hmm. He was their Deus Ex Machina. Like whatever they needed, he was like, "I might have something for you."
The Trinket Man's only job was to deliver the perverse, which is the dumbest setup for a horror.
And he delivered Pandora's box
and the Kronos Rock.
So I'm gonna leave Ambrose alone because that's just kicking the dead body right now.
Yeah.
Now I feel like shitting on the corpse. Roz. Okay, I love Roz. Wait, hold on, before I go into Roz, anybody else wanted to go to a bad right quick?
This sounds like Jessica Jones all over again.
Okay.
Wait, a bad.
Oh, wait,
because I just want to get straight into Sabrina.
Oh no! Wait! No! We saved that. We gonna cook that chicken raw. So
I'm gonna start the stove off.
let me go to Roz right quick. Roz had one of the best storylines setting up, and I love the fact that it was like her bloodline was created because there was a bunch of these witches out here, and this was the protection from it. And then I was hoping that they would separate voodoo from witchcraft, like they did in American Horror Story.
They sort of did it.
Yeah, so they was like, look, because we weren't allowed to be witches because of our skin color.
No, because it was. She said that we were God-fearing women, and so because they were Christian women.
No. I'm talking about for American Horror Story.
Okay.
That storyline made sense. You could have carried it over here to that. Now
I thought that's where they were going
at first, and then they abandoned it. And then they was like, instead of making her this woman who had the ability to combat evil, because that's what their sect was, it was like, nah, fuck you just a witch now. So you abandon the story arc of Roz and her being her own individual character and be like, nah, you just a regular witch. And the most insulting is Prudence, the only black witch.
You caught that too.
The only black witch out there comes up to Roz and like, oh, who is you? You've been fighting with Prudence. Her and Roz have been fighting back to back for at least 2 seasons.
So literally the only 2 black teenagers on the show, and she walks up to her and just dismisses her as a person, as a being.
What makes you suitable to be a witch? Oh, what, like you was sisters with chicks that you didn't even know, but now that you have some community in the house, you want to check her at the door? Who is doing the writing for this show? Because they definitely don't know how to write black people. Anyway,
seems like they don't know how to write people.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I know y'all tried y'all best, but Roz is too thick to be hiding up under those clothes. she was laying on top of Harvey, and Harvey looked like a little boy.
I was like, get off of that boy.
Like, get off that boy. She's sitting there with all that crank yanker behind her.
Okay, moving on. So, I agree with what you guys were saying, not including her body parts.
You agree?
No.
So she not thick.
That's not what.
like she.
Leave it alone.
She Dairy Queen.
It doesn't have anything to do with the story. Stop.
She varsity chocolate shake fit.
No. As I was saying, no.
This is a storyline plot. This is a storyline plot. I swear to God it is.
Swear to God it's not. No.
Let me explain.
No.
Snickers is suing her because she that thick. Alright, I'm done.
What you talking about? First of all, Barkley is nasty. What are you talking about?
That shake is still thick.
Again, what I was saying, because in the very beginning, when Roz was
looked
talking
offended,
to her grandmother, and she was saying, witches cursed our family.
Mm-hmm. Which was a lie, apparently.
Apparently, but it was like, so they based her character off of witches cursed our family, but we gained something in the aftermath.
Mhm.
So it went from her family not being witches at all to being basically the enemy of them. So that's why I thought, so obviously her bloodline has some other powers to it.
But
Why
that-
is her family line
But
cut?
that's
see,
more-
you
that's-
see, that would make her interesting, and you can't have that on this show.
but that's more insulting. Your dying grandma or her spirit lied to you? Why?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Well, yeah.
Oh, and then another point on the Roz point, this is a subplot. They abandoned the purpose of Theo and Harvey. Because I thought they were setting up Theo and Harvey to inherit gifts from their ancestors. That's where it was originally going.
Were they? Because Harvey didn't have any gifts. I thought he was just come from a family
Because
of witch
remember,
hunters.
his family was witch hunters.
Were witch hunters,
Exactly.
but they didn't have any special powers. They were just witch hunters.
No, it would have been something that would have been passed down. Like his dad was kind of like an alcoholic, but he could have been like, your granddad told me stories about how they witch hunted, and that's a taboo subject. But that's a storyline that you could have carried down to pass to Harvey.
And he could have had to make the decision: do I help Sabrina or do I fight against Sabrina with the gifts or with the tools I have?
The same thing with Theo, whose ancestor came to her and said, "Hey,
Him.
we were involved in the supernatural fight too, but because they didn't give a fuck, they abandoned that and made them regular people. And if you're gonna do that, they shouldn't be in the fight anyway."
And the only issues that Theo had this season was his boyfriend was either going to stay or go. That was it. That was Theo's plotline.
So, okay, another bad. Who wants to go to another bad? We ain't at Sabrina yet.
I want to go to. We touched on I don't remember her exact name, but the voodoo priest, the voodoo witch.
Yeah.
Mambo Marie.
Mambo
Marie.
Mambo Marie, sure, yeah. That went nowhere because they introduced this relationship between him and Zelda, and it's like, hey, so I helped you guys with some things. Now I have to go back to my planet. Bye.
That's what got me about that. I'm just like, so we never had any inkling to that at all.
It was like a fart in the room. It's like
They were just like, oh, we're bringing back dead people. Let's just throw in some more folklore.
But that also spits in the face of the last seasons where they called the sisters from the four corners to help them fight.
and they use witchcraft of different types of witchcraft to fight their battles.
Why did he show up as a woman?
Because, from what I gathered is that he was trying to live his own life, maybe, because Lazarus was the one holding.
And remember,
Well,
The real answer
remember-
is they wanted a new actor. That's all that is.
remember, they didn't. That
For
was
a cameo?
her first appearance. Wasn't at the house. Her first appearance was Prudence and Ambrose
in New
went to a
Orleans.
shop in New Orleans, and he's just running a shop as a woman. Whatever. It just
didn't make sense.
Yeah, they were literally just making decisions this season to just say we did something.
My up in bad.
Okay. Retroactive good. Who was the crazy sister?
Dorcas.
Dorcas.
No, Dorcas is dead.
Dorcas is the
Agatha.
dead one.
So Agatha.
All right. Agatha forgave Dorcas for killing her.
Yeah.
I like the way-
No, Dorcas forgave Agatha for killing
Sure,
her.
whatever. All right.
that was
I
cool.
like the way that played out in the way that they presented it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
No,
Well,
because
first of all, Agatha was hot. All right. Another thing I gotta put on the plate that pissed me off.
Which one was Agatha again?
That was the crazy one.
Okay.
You know my thing is
That's
crazy.
your thing, though.
Yeah. Another thing that pissed me off about this, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need the Eldritch Horrors, I'm gonna need the devil, and I'm gonna need the angels to step up to the front of the congregation. We need to have a word with all three of y'all. First of all, the Eldritch Horrors came in hot. I was like, okay, I see what y'all doing. I'm kind of liking this. And then it just petered off. And then, oh, by the way, I was taking numbers of body counts about how many people died. And then I was like, all these are Sabrina's fault. So the Eldritch Horrors come in, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of creepy. I'm liking where it's going. And then at the end of the episode, they just went limp dick, and it was like, I'm the darkness. A light bulb kills me. I'm the uninvited. Thanks for inviting me to your wedding. I'm weird. Thanks for calling me not weird. I was like, this is the worst writing I've ever, and the weird pissed me off the most because that actually touched into some Lovecraft shit.
I
And
actually did not finish watching that episode.
it was because, you know why? Because it was fucking dumb. They literally introduced a character that they was porting over to Riverdale. Why?
Right, I thought he would have been like a meantime vessel for the weird at least, but it just never happened. But he was the only one not under Sabrina's spell when she was basically telling everybody in the classroom to kill themselves, and I thought they were going to do something with that.
Oh yeah, I watched half of that episode.
And then he just disappeared and didn't come back. I was like,
I
is that because he tongue kissed her? I don't get it.
I thought maybe, I guess.
But by the way, I love how everything is just centered on Glendale. How the rest of the world don't experience this shit. Only Glendale.
Greendale.
It's what? I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Greenville. So
Sunnydale.
up next is the devil. Fuck you. So you find out Sabrina's been lying this whole time and that she put reality in jeopardy. It's okay, but I can still keep fucking my daughter, I guess. And I'm like, oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, you.
Were we watching the same show?
You do realize that was the whole point of season 2, right? Season
No, they thought that was the point, but it was never the actual point.
3. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
He wanted her to be queen of hell because
Yes, queen to take over from him. He was not going to copulate with her. That's what they thought. Because Zada literally said, as his child bride, I don't think so, because they didn't know that Sabrina was her father.
So apparently they got scruples. They got scruples.
He knew.
He
didn't give a crap about what they thought about it.
They was knocking boots. So now they in hell. You know, Lily's having the baby, and that's all that fucking shit goes nowhere. Now, angels, what the fuck are your purposes?
So Metatron comes down, the Metatron,
highest choir of angels,
and it's like, y'all need to fix this shit. If y'all don't, I'm gonna fix it, and it dies.
Gets killed by one devil and 6 witches with a stick. So, and you're supposed to be God's right-hand man, and you just got shitted on. And no other angels come?
Nothing.
Nothing. God doesn't come down. Other angels don't come down. There's no vengeance for slaughtering the head angel.
But the thing is, you would have thought that happened, in season 2, season 3, when those other angels came, witch hunters.
I just consider them as rogue angels.
But then Sabrina literally just set them all on fire and sent them back to heaven, but nothing happened then. I was like, okay, so...
We talked about that too, and I was like, man, they was really ready to suck evil's dick like at the drop of a dime. But then when this Sabrina lit them on fire. But in this season, highest choir of angels, right hand of God gets smoked, and everybody's cool with this.
Yeah.
Everybody was a joke.
Yeah.
Lilith.
Lilith.
Oh God.
She has her baby. First she gets pregnant, then they force her to have her baby.
They tried to do a fetus deletus on this woman.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
It's Latin
for abortion.
They basically tried.
Is that what they do in Harry Potter?
Yes.
A fetus deletus, probably.
Yeah.
So Lilith gives birth to her son, and she has a hissy fit because
her son Adam, named after her first lover, which is weird.
No, the other lover.
That is weird.
The human one.
Yeah, the human one.
That is weird.
Yeah, whatever. There's been weirder things on the show.
Yeah, like the devil having sex with Sabrina.
People call their children Junior all the time.
No,
they're not named. Okay, Junior is like you passing on your second.
They're passing on a name, so she just passed on a name.
So anyway.
She didn't care about Lucifer.
That was the least important of this. It's the fact that she killed her baby so that Lucifer would not get it.
No, this is the weird part. This show doesn't know how dark it wants to be. Because
it went Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it went worse than that because not only did she chop up the baby, she tried to feed it to Lucifer.
Serve it to him.
And my thing is, okay, where is the line when it comes to darkness? Because after that part, it's all happy, fun, sunshine. Like it's all PG rating, and let's skip and hold hands.
And let's do musicals.
Exactly. So where exactly is the R rating on this show? Because it's like they want to, when it comes to Sabrina and her friends, they want to pussyfoot around. But apparently everybody else in Greenville is fair game. Yeah, I know the name of it.
And I also noticed that too, where it was like, hey, there is a reality-ending threat coming to the planet. I'm gonna run for school president.
Shit like that.
Right, and
what?
they had other characters bringing this up, like where would you have the time? But they were just like, oh, we'll make it work.
Because we can dick around with the apocalypse.
And I also noticed that whenever Sabrina got information about like weird shit going on or magical shit going on that's gonna affect normal people in town, she never calls her friends.
But she calls them when she's lonely. But we'll get to that in a second.
You're right. I am talking about Sabrina.
Oh, wait.
I'm just gonna say her friends have to find out themselves that there's weird shit going on in town, and they come to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I know."
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Another bad that I have. Nicholas Scratch, you piece of shit. Okay, so when we started the season now, Nicholas, who was sexually deprived all last season, is now knocking boots with Prudence. And they're having this great relationship going down. And then out of nowhere, Nick goes, Sabrina, I've been wanting you this whole time. I want our relationship that we had. When you wouldn't even give me a hand job under the table. Can you please love me, Sabrina? I love you. I love you, Sabrina. Don't you? Out of nowhere. And the audience is like, but you were with Prudence.
But I feel like
until he wasn't.
The build-up that they tried to have for that scene was when the weird was there, and they still had Nick try to basically save her and sing the song with her.
I'll do whatever I need to do to help Sabrina. And I was like, you went to hell for her.
You already did everything you could do.
Yeah, you did everything. What is going on? Who wrote this? And the most insulting thing they can do to Nick. This show is disgusting because they play around with suicide like it ain't nothing.
That should have been like a trigger warning or something on this episode.
At least, because he just said it so casually too. I went to the Sea of Sorrows and I just went under, and I'm just like.
I was like, for Sabrina? But that's like for a bologna. I would have did it for a bologna sandwich over her. Like for Sabrina?
But things like, he was, all this time they were like, oh, he's the strongest warlock. He was the only one in the entire coven who could hold Lucifer. But they just had him kill himself so he could be with the girl who caused all the issues.
They had some of the most boring, straight arrow, lazy sex I've ever seen in my life. We're going to get to that in a second.
Are we?
Yeah, we are. Because that
Sabrina?
It wasn't, trust me. He might as well masturbated. So I'm sitting there, and he like, yeah, Sabrina, you left, so I just killed myself. And I was like,
anybody?
Who wrote this?
First, yeah.
Like I was like, whoa, did he just say what I think he said?
Yeah. And that's how the show ends. That's their ending.
The ending to the entire series?
Yeah.
The entire series, Nick says he killed himself. And then
he said,
like, oh no, Nick, but I'm so happy.
Mind you, the demon worshipping people ended up
going to heaven.
Especially after he commits suicide.
Tell me how that works.
Well, I guess he died.
I guess because they converted to Hecate, who is a goddess and not the devil, maybe.
But Sabrina wasn't even a believer of Hecate.
Well, she was.
No,
because
she was.
I think y'all been dancing around the subject for too long.
Well, we just trying to make sure we're knocking off all the ducks.
I got to knock the blocks off.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Faustus. Faustus was basically
a chump.
He was definitely a chump, but he was the only he was the only one pushing the story forward. Mm-hmm. I hated his character, what he became. He basically started out, I want power, and it pretty much ended on the same way. So he had no character development at all.
But I wasn't really expecting that much from him because his thing since the very beginning is that he wanted more power. He was the high priest. He wanted to be a part of the Dark Vatican or whatever. It was. His whole thing was like, oh, I want to be in control of everything. What bugged me about that same situation is that everyone cared about Judas and Judith 1 second and then didn't care about
there we
them
go.
the next.
Because
so he kidnapped these two babies, one that Zelda was raising as her own, as her night mother.
And she never talked about them again.
She didn't care.
The biggest offender is their sister.
And Prudence, who's just like continuously like, oh, I'm gonna kill my father, but
left your brother and sister,
and then just comes back to the church and just casually finds them bowing before his headless corpse. It didn't make
like the whole purpose of her tracking down him was to retrieve her brother and sister.
After she kills her father, She just deuces back to the mansion.
Hey guys, I'm back from slaughtering my
No
father.
idea where these two children are. And it didn't make any sense because I'm like, they were your main objective because that's who you wanted to get back.
I got any more bats?
I mean, there's still plenty more out there, but I know we want to
don't
move
have
to.
time.
Wait, give me a second. I gotta get this off my spirit. Okay, the 3 black women, question mark, that were the front line to the weird. So they had to pretty much run offense. So they go grab Roz. Say, Roz, by the way, you know that storyline we're building for you? Yeah, that ain't shit. You're a witch. Come join us. And then they bring her and say, okay, cool. We're going to use your ability to scout for the Eldritch Horrors, which failed every episode. The whole purpose is that they are seers, that they can see the future. But they always manage to see the Eldritch Horrors way too late before they even come in.
Yeah. They were pretty much just narrating what happened, what we didn't see.
And when did Prudence become a seer?
Well, Roz was the seer.
No.
They were the weird sisters. And so the weird sisters basically had special abilities that worked well with each other.
She literally said to Roz, we're all seers.
I don't remember that part.
I don't know.
That's why they were taking turns at the helm.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Last bat I got, and we can jump off into the real thing. That episode where the old aunties came back and the stuffed cat Salem.
Jesus.
That was all just terrible.
That was horrible. So,
like, Salem looked bad.
that was on purpose.
Was it? Did it have to be?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be mimicking literally the story.
The Sabrina TV
The
show?
part the dumb that was dumb for a whole nother reason though.
Because I'm like, so
Oh,
Salem
auntie
is
did
the
look good,
Endless, who another Eldritch terror. But my thing is, you busted out the mirror.
Where did he go?
We just
What
saw
happened? What
the
happened
cat.
to
I'm like, so you're an Eldritch terror. I know you didn't die the way Sabrina Spellman died by just running through glass. Where did you? You're the Endless.
They forgot.
Did you
So
end?
so at the end of at the end of every episode, we pretty much just said that they just took the Game of Thrones approach, writers' approach. Oh, I forgot.
No, that's not.
I forgot.
That's not the worst offense. The whole point of the Sabrina being in the other dimension is that she was in the space occupied by the Endless. The set that she was on.
No, the Cosmos she was supposed to go to.
Well,
the Cosmos had the Endless in it.
Well, apparently, the stage that she was on and the people that she was talking to were all inhabited by the Endless. Why do we have to go through a full fucking episode for the Endless to present itself? She was literally, it's like you in the stomach of a monster and you go a whole episode before it closes his goddamn mouth.
Because that's why. All right, so let's go ahead and
Hold on, I got stress from this one.
let's go ahead and get ready to kick this horse.
I might pull something.
And just to make things easier for everybody, we're going to refer to Hell Sabrina as Morningstar, Earth Sabrina as
That bitch.
as Spellman. All right, who wants to start it off?
I-
I'll start it off. All right.
There you go.
Wait, Sabrina has an ultra instinct form?
No. See, at the end of the last season,
I don't care.
I know, but they need to know this because she broke reality by creating 2 versions of herself.
She created a paradox.
Exactly.
Yep. Against the advice of,
Ambrose.
And
as herself,
And herself. She doesn't even
because she
listen to
said,
herself.
come back and complete the loop so that everything can be back to normal. She was like, nah, screw
But,
that.
but Christian, I know what she said. Why wouldn't she listen to herself? Say it. Well, say it. Pick it up. Why don't you?
All right, so she says, all right, so I'm going to live my life on Earth, and that way I don't have to choose. I can choose the life that I want to live, and you can live your life in hell and be the queen of hell and live the other life that I had to choose. Everything is cool, fine and dandy. Granted, reality still collapses on itself slowly, but it's like at least she did what she said she was supposed to do. First episode, she's looking around. Everybody's all booed up.
And she
I don't have anybody. I'm bored.
I'm
Let me-
so alone.
Let me go see what other Sabrina's doing.
And Ambrose
Mind
was like,
you,
don't
he
do
told
that.
her, don't interact with your other time self.
Mind you, Ambrose is in the basement trying to figure out how to prepare for the oncoming storm. because he knows some shit about to hit the fan, and he's doing everything.
Let me get this straight.
Go ahead.
She saw all these couples, and she decided, well, I'm alone. Let me go see my
other self, see how she's doing.
Why? Is she trying to fuck herself?
She was like,
about.
No.
this is boring. Maybe I picked wrong. Let me go see how it's working out.
It's just that. She's like, maybe I chose wrong. Let me go see how hell Sabrina's living her life.
I got it better than
hell.
that. No, exactly. No, I'm not the center of everybody's universe up here because life is moving on. Everybody has somebody, partners that they can go with, even though I gave away one boyfriend and I shot down another one. And now I'm mad because they found happiness with other people. So let me go to hell and fuck shit up down there.
So she finds out that Morningstar is about to get married to someone who tried to kill them in the last season. I can't.
Taliban.
Yeah, male eye candy of the show or whatever. And so she's like, "Oh no, you can't do that, bitch. Why not?"
She's like, "It's not your business."
I'm living my life. You're supposed to be living yours. Go away.
So,
and then she immediately goes to, you know what? Let's try and break them up.
Yeah,
because you would think exactly.
She does the classic
parent
sitcom. Yeah, like, hey, guy who tried to kill me last season, whatever, fiance, whatever. Yeah, we're not gonna get married. I don't really want.
No. She does even one deeper. If you really love me, you'll chop your balls off. I'm dead fucking serious. And he comes to her with his balls.
He comes to his Sabrina. He's like, I love you and I want to be with you. Here they are. Well, he's made out of clay, so he wants them back.
So he can put them back.
But still, it was like. Why did she do that?
And here's the
she's
thing.
dead at the end of the series.
Yeah.
They're both dead at the end of the series.
So here's the thing. So this is where I was done within the first episode. She did that to her other self and didn't think about the consequences about what that would do to her. Like how that would make her other self feel.
When she's confronted with her other self.
She was like, yo, here, other self came out. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And she was like, what?
I know better than myself knows. And she was like, the arrogance of this bitch. The arrogance of me.
And I was actually surprised that she let it go, considering how quickly Sabrina holds on to everything with everybody else.
Well, I think what they tried to do this season was make the hell Sabrina Morningstar more mature than Spellman. Because you realize every episode she was on board for anything. Like, all right, we got to do this. All right, I'm gonna go here. All right, we can do that. Da da da.
Let's go back a little bit to where she saw her friend's happiness and decided to create a fake demon so that she can make them come to her for help.
Y'all lying.
I'm dead serious.
She had her cat Familia, who was also a demon, Salem, pretend to be Bloody Mary.
At the school.
She terrorized.
What is the point of all of this?
Because her friends found happiness without her, and she was like, no, I need them to come back to me.
And they were busy, so she wanted them to have an excuse to hang out
so
with her.
she horrifies innocent students at school.
Is she?
She's a sociopath. Yeah.
No, in universe, is she a devil or a demon or something?
She's an antichrist.
She's a half angel. Because she's the daughter of Lucifer.
Because the shit that y'all telling us about this series does not make sense.
It goes everywhere.
Go ahead and tell me what happened.
So she terrorizes two boys, and then that makes her friends go, oh, this is an emergency. Let's call Sabrina. So she has them do some chanting in front of a mirror, and basically
they chase Bloody Mary throughout the school.
Bloody Mary has Harvey get splashed with blood. Just because to make it gory, and then Roz is like, wait, this isn't adding up. This is strange. And so she confronts Sabrina like, so I know what you did. It wasn't cool. Why did you do it? And then Sabrina goes, oh, but I just wanted everyone to be together again, and you guys have been so busy.
And
one thing,
this is one snapback I actually love what Roz did. She was like, Sabrina, your life has been moving on without us. You are a witch. You wanted to run hell. You're doing all this other stuff with becoming a witch, and you left us. We had to grow too.
Yeah, but the universe has to revolve around Sabrina. All right, let's jump ahead a little bit. So Ambrose comes to Sabrina. They basically realize that the terrors are coming, and it's like, all right, we got to come clean to the aunties, let them know everything that we've been keeping from them. And he was expecting her to be like, no, we can find another way to do blah blah blah. And she was like, you're right, Ambrose. We're gonna tell everyone the truth. I'm gonna take responsibility.
And
I was
it
like,
shocked him because he was like, wait, you're not gonna fight me on this.
No.
You're agreeing with me.
Yeah. That's fine. That was all for play. No, you don't get to take responsibility in the final hour when reality is about to collapse on itself. No, too late. No.
But this is the dumbest part. It took the other Sabrina from hell, because as soon as she found out what was going on,
She went directly
to the aunties. It's like, the reality is fucking breaking. We need to do something about this. Mind you, they've known about this shit for months. As soon as the Sabrina hell found out, she was like, this is too big. Let me tell my pops. Pops is like, let's go talk to the aunties. So here they come around the corner. Hey, we got some 4-year-old news for you. And they're like,
Oh my god.
she just told us what happened. And the part that pisses me off is the aunties just let it roll off like fucking water.
Because they have to, because the reality is ending. It's like, maybe we'll lay into her later. Like, that's the thing. It's like she treated reality ending like another bad day in school.
Christian, in the beginning of one episode, a mother had her heart ripped out of her in front of her daughter. That is Sabrina's fucking fault. Because what she did invited the horrors to come. So all these people in the beginning of the show are getting murdered.
And
But it's
bringing them back.
No bringing them back.
Not bring them back, but the only deaths that she actually takes responsibility for are those that she accidentally zapped in the last episode.
Yeah,
because she basically became the void, and so she
was basically swallowing
absorbing
people.
Everything, and so
she was like, we gotta get them back.
Because the house Sabrina died, her dad and her husband came up there. It's like, so our daughter, my daughter.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. We skipped parts.
Oh,
because
I thought we were skipping all the parts.
Well, mind you, Sabrina died. Earth Sabrina, Spellman died. No. Morningstar died. So Spellman, they thought was dying, and they pulled her soul and put it into Morningstar's body.
So now you got two souls that happen in one body.
No, Morningstar was
one
dead.
soul, because Morningstar was dead, but they didn't tell her father,
who was Lucifer,
or her husband in hell. They were just like, oh, let's just keep her in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you, the angels at one point come down and says, you have two Sabrinas occupying the same space. One of them has to die. And instead of saying, okay, that makes sense because there should only be one Sabrina, both sides try to fight to keep both Sabrinas, even though reality is tearing itself apart. But you know what, John? That's okay, because I get to run for class president.
Yeah.
What killed me about that is I'm like,
I'm
why
not
do they
making it
keep
up.
trying to separate these Sabrinas who have only basically been different
Alive.
people for a few months?
Right.
So
rock, paper, scissors, die. Okay, like just one of them.
Like, these are still the same Sabrinas that you've known. They weren't too different from each other. One just had responsibility.
Right. And
what made the hell Sabrina become mature?
She was put in a responsibility. She was learning how to run a whole hell. She was running a whole realm under the guidance of Lucifer, her father. Mm-hmm. So she was running hell with her dad.
Hell is a fucking joke.
Yeah, it
is. So she was running hell with her dad. So she was put in leadership positions, trying to make the right choices. Sabrina Spellman, the Earth Sabrina, was never put in those situations.
They just let her do whatever she wanted to do.
Exactly. But they always like, oh no, Sabrina, you can't do this, but go ahead.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
This was the most privileged shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So Morningstar died. Morningstar is the Hell Sabrina because she took on Lucifer Morningstar's name. And Spellman is the Earth Sabrina. So Morningstar died. They just kept her body in the basement. Spellman was trying to put the void in Pandora's box. Mm-hmm. They pulled her out because she didn't tell anybody what she was doing.
I'm going to do something dangerous and not tell anybody.
Exactly. And then because they don't know what she's doing, they pulled her
She
out.
didn't complete her mission.
and then brought some of the void back with her. So she was making things disappear and wasn't sure how it was happening. And so, because Morningstar is dead, her husband and her dad get mad, come to Earth like, okay, so my daughter's body is here. Your Sabrina's soul is inhabiting her. I want my daughter's body. You either give it to me willingly or I'm going to take it from you.
All our reality is crashing around them.
Right.
I got a couple of questions for
So there
y'all.
was that. So then we realized that Sabrina absorbed the void. So she was making things disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And
They dragged the ending out. She had to go somewhere and learn how to use her superpowers. The Father Blackwood came and was like, I'm gonna teach you, but I really want the powers for myself. She knew this all along. Everybody came back, Sabrina, we love you, come back with us. And she was like, go away, y'all, blah blah blah. And it was basically
she
let's
told Ambrose, so Ambrose could figure out the
they
whole
figure
plan.
out exactly. So they saved her, and sort of, and the void was still coming to kill everything. So it was like, we need to drain her blood to complete this ritual or whatever. And as they did that, she flashed back to all the happy moments of her life.
All of her birthdays.
Yeah, all of that, whatever.
All those times she had
There were
that-
no other happy moments but her birthdays. That's the only thing that's
all the
important.
time.
The writers had to hurry up and finish up the
Because they knew that, because she knew at least that one day was all about her.
Like,
Yep.
it was just...
all the time she had that shit-eating grin on her face.
Yep.
Couple of questions for y'all.
And then the show ends, she dies. Blah, blah.
That was the happiest day of my life right there. I was like, when she didn't
And
want
I'm
to Sabrina.
looking at the funeral, I'm just like...
Oh, they had a straight up funeral,
Yeah.
caskets and everything.
For both of them.
Yeah.
Both Sabrina.
Yeah.
But that
Just
body
put
was
it
in the
in the
basement
dumpster.
for weeks.
No, it wasn't in the basement for weeks because they put the soul into that body. So the other body was in outer
So
space
they
just
had-
floating around.
Oh yeah, they sent Homeboy to go to space to go retrieve the other body.
Yeah.
So they
He
had
nearly
two
died,
funerals
by the way.
with two caskets and everything.
Yep.
Yep. So there were some plot holes that people talked about, and I don't know if they're plot holes or not, but this show does so much that I don't know what
They
the fuck
didn't
is going
care. They
on.
didn't give a
You
shit.
remember the soil that resurrects people?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
Lazarus
that?
pit.
Whatever happened to that?
The
Yes,
Lazarus pit.
Oh,
Lazarus actually comes back, but we hear nothing about his actual pit.
You mean
the soil
say
that
it? Say it. Are you talking about that pit that she used to bring back her sister like
after
50
she
times?
kept killing her?
You
Yeah.
mean that one?
Yeah, that
Shut up.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Shut up, Sid. That's
bad.
why.
My bad. I'm sorry.
So they're bringing up
I'm
logic
sorry.
and shit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what about the fact that the devil didn't know that the covenant wasn't worshiping him anymore?
Like he doesn't hear their prayers. Because last season he heard their prayers and unleashed his wrath on them.
Exactly. But now it takes
It's all good. It's cool.
it takes a whole 6 months where we like, hey, I haven't heard them pray to me in a minute. What's going on up there? You don't hear those because you're too busy banging your daughter wife. Trump. I'm sorry.
So, question: It was Ambrose on the original show?
He was
Nah.
not on the original show, but I think I heard he was in the original comics. I think.
I don't know.
I
Okay.
did not read the comics.
My other question: Why did Sabrina get canceled? Low ratings? Because if it was
There's
low
a-
Probably
ratings,
because
I get
everybody
it.
had a problem with
So I'll be
Sabrina.
real. No, I'll be real. I watched something yesterday that said that the whole universe thing that they're doing, Berlanti, whatever, because he's behind this as well.
No wonder this was bad.
You got Riverdale, you got Sabrina, you had Katie Kane, all of that shit, whatever. They're basically trying to minimize all that shit. So Riverdale's pretty much the only one that survived. And so it's about not necessarily rights or whatever. It's just distribution. It's just about what can they produce and where.
And what really killed me about the show, it was that, once hell comes to Earth, basically,
No,
used upon, all hell's gonna set loose.
not Earth. Just Greenville. I know the name of it. I'm gonna disrespect it. I'm gonna disrespect it like this show disrespected itself.
Ken, it's called Sunnyvale.
Exactly.
From the very beginning, they played up Lucifer to be, this great,
End all be
powerful,
all.
Yeah.
the end all be all, only for him to get punked and straddled by Lilith at the very end.
Yep. Oh yeah, Lilith got the juice now.
But all she
yeah.
did was drink a little bit of the blood.
Oh, sorry.
And so does she keep bleeding
No,
him?
no, no.
Is she killing him?
She whipped him until he gave the safe word, and then she went in, drunk his celestial blood, and told him, "You gonna walk around the earth broke for the rest of your life."
But
Okay.
it was just like, so they just had
The-
basically the king of hell
Yeah, just punked out.
just come to Greendale and just go, oh, bye. Give me my daughter back. Oh, you want? Okay, I'm leaving now.
Like I said, no one's story had a conclusion. It was just let's finish up episodes.
Let's cash this check so we can get up out of here. My car needs gas money. So all in all, this show was a clusterfuck. It disrespected itself. It disrespected the viewers who was watching it, and it disrespected the fandom that was along for this ride.
Disrespected me because I had to hear y'all talk about it.
Exactly. Like what?
And I'll be real. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that. Let's say the show did not get canceled. Who's to say that the way it ended those last 4 seasons, 4 or 5 episodes, wouldn't have probably done the exact same thing? Because the writing on the show was not that great.
It was not, but at least seasons 1 through 3 were watchable. Almost half of 3.
It just seemed very rushed, and
Yeah.
it was, for me, a letdown and a waste of time, because like it got to the point where I got to the 2nd episode and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore, and I just didn't want to watch anymore.
Like I literally put it to my laptop to take notes.
I sped through this. I think it took 2 days to watch it because I just had to get it done, get it out. Literally every episode I was going, why did she do that? Why did they do that? You know the episode where he said where the town was forgetting everything, and Ambrose remembered when he left town, and his solution was to run back and tell her real fast what to do. It's called writing a note, or
well, say it. We have cell phones.
they don't in that show.
But
well,
say it.
sometimes
I
they
don't know if you
do,
noticed.
sometimes they don't.
But
So
shit.
sometimes we see them with house phones, and sometimes we see them with cell
I've
phones,
seen-
but
I've
it
seen-
just hasn't been
but-
consistent.
I've seen
Sid.
corded phones more than I've seen cell phones.
But-
on the
but
show.
Sid.
It just has not been consistent for the entirety of the
But
series.
said, I have magic now. Why can't I just beam myself back?
Because we
Well, they didn't have magic like that.
Which
Because no one
oh,
remembers
and
any witches.
by the way, not shit. Thank you. I gotta get this off my spirit before we go. Before we done, let me say this. Father Blackwood gets a hold of the perverse. He's able to twist the universe in any way he sees fit.
Nazis.
That's Nazis is 1, and 2. King of Greendale.
No, he
That-
said make it so that I was emperor, so that I was always emperor.
sorry,
but the
no,
thing was, he wasn't specific, so the imp just made him like, okay, so you can be emperor of this
Of
space.
Greendale. That's
I mean,
as
that's
far as
just
your
like-
reach goes.
That's just like in Aladdin when Jafar was like, "Genie, make me the Sultan."
No, but
and then he was like, "Make me a magical magician." And I'm like, "You just changed outfits.
But
You didn't get any power or anything like that."
But the thing that gets me is you have power. You are one of the few people who know what happened in your past universe, and your whole thing is bullying a high school. You a grown ass man.
I got nothing.
And
The
it was
show,
just like
y'all
you-
established
you-
to me that
and
grown ass men.
Sabrina
don't
Spellman
have
was
power.
public enemy number 1.
Sabrina, he had the biggest heart on for Sabrina. He was like,
It was just,
everybody has to worship me, and if you
hate
see Sabrina, bring her in here so I can do things. I was like, man, you a grown man. Do better.
Yeah.
You could have been king of hell.
he just wanted to be emperor. But the imp was like, okay, so you weren't specific, so you can be the emperor of this little town, which is like a blip on a map. It means nothing.
Like, that is the most tiny penis move I've ever seen in my life. All in all, this was a great show to watch.
Lie.
Sabrina was full of excitement and vigor, and I can't wait to the next season.
She had spunk.
It was a great watch, and
That's
I
what the
recommend.
kids call Moxie.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
And I recommend everyone go out and watch it so you can get this infectious disease too.
Watch
you
it. Watch it drunk.
I was just like, you really just drag these actors through this.
Like, and they have to go around and promote the show. That's what I'm so sad about. Like, they have to be sad that the show is over. It's like, we can watch our last season, guys.
Well, you'd be sad if something stopped paying you as well.
It's always residuals. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode of I don't know what we do. Like and subscribe. But until next time, fuck this show. Like, I was so mad watching it.
That was that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That was such a chore.
It's no fun when I can't talk shit.
Literally every episode I was going, why did she do that? What is she doing? No. Stop, Sabrina.
See, now every time I was watching, I was like, man, white people.
Yeah.
So
Literally today.
And
Like, I don't know if you
apparently-
guys saw when I was sitting down, but I'm like,
Yeah. And apparently no one's parents around because everyone just sleeps in their boyfriend and girlfriend rooms.
I'm like, I don't know if this is like a TV thing or if it's a white people thing, but don't they have parents?
both.
Ron's just sitting there, fucking Harvey on the couch in the middle of the day. Last time I checked, my parents was gonna be home. What kind of shit is this?
And like they only like alluded to the fact that oh yeah, she still has like a curfew maybe, but the thing is she sleeps in Harvey's garage with Harvey. And she
every
got
now and then
a couple buzzes on her phone in one episode. Like,
Yo-
oh yeah, that's my dad. I gotta go.
Your dad is a preacher.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and my favorite part was the episode. She was like, "We should have condoms in all them shit." First of all, everybody in the high school ain't fucking, all right. And second of all,
You a grown ass
You
woman.
a grown ass woman, sashaying your thick ass through the halls.
You know she's actually dating Harvey in real life. Right?
No.
No, are you serious?
They're actually dating.
That is
Wow,
gross.
man. So you saying I had a chance? Yo,
That is, no.
wow.
Do better.
So yeah, sashaying her sexy flex ass through the halls, and
Just,
you think
knocking over everybody.
You think other students is beating down the walls too? Come on, get real. We need to put condoms in
By
the
the way-
bathroom
by the
so
way,
we can remind people of the sex they not having.
the death count of students in this show
That
should be
band-
concerning.
That whole band was found stabbed up behind the school and just
and nothing.
they've never heard
No
about it
police
again.
They'd have
investigation.
a vigil.
No.
They'd have a moment of silence.
They didn't stop school.
No.
They had no students left.
Like they got murdered, they got slaughtered, and no announcements.
Nothing. We want to take some time and
A moment of silence
moment-
for our
because
feeling.
because the show was still gonna go on. The performance or whatever.
The Battle of the These were members of the Battle of the
No,
Band.
the school canceled it, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just have it anyway."
No. They canceled it because there was only one band left.
No, they canceled it because the students died.
And there was one band left.
They didn't care about those kids. And by the way, those kids looked like they were 25. I was like, come on, y'all ain't even trying no more.
Some of the ones that came back from the past.
No, the ones who got killed. I was like, that dude has a
that was a grown ass
It's a
man.
full fucking beard.
I was like, you teacher? This is our room.
I was like, I'm gonna need the cops to come in here and arrest all these
Everybody,
teachers for
including-
fucking these students.
Including Ross.
I was just like,
It was
I just hope
literally no one had a story.
No,
No one.
it was life according to Sabrina.
Mary, who formerly
Wardwell?
Ward, yeah. She just joined the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
Or
The
whoever's the
whole
first
point
one.
was that
Whoever's
she
the
didn't
last.
have a story because she was taken over by Lilith, but then
Whoever's the last one to drop a pamphlet off at her door, she's going to that church. This is ridiculous.
I'm just surprised that the end all wasn't the fact that there was a headless man in the church. But you know what?
You know, sure.
I'm just a regular
And
viewer.
there's 2 black kids worshiping it, but you know,
But
whatever.
you know what? That's just how life goes.
And
sometimes.
we didn't see them after that episode.
Mhm.
we didn't because apparently he got out and he got his kids back.
From
Because we saw that he got his kids back because apparently they were
they never went
they
to
were
the,
in the academy as well,
We didn't see his
and we saw him leave with the children.
How did he get the
but-
kids from the academy?
The kids were in the academy and his body was in the academy because Prudence was torturing it, pushing needles through it and everything.
Well,
And
apparently, you can control his body without hair because
Because he says so.
she shut
because
the
he
fuck
has
up.
the mark of Cain and we don't know.
Whatever.
But yeah, and we just don't see the kids again. And so I'm like, did you feed them? Is that what
I
happened?
forgot about him.
Can we stop? Because I'm getting depressed again. It's like I'm watching it all over again. Y'all bye.
It just killed me.
You know, there's people out there who like the show.
That's because it's people out there who like Zack Snyder movies. So shut up.
That is true.